It was a quiet Sunday morning in paradise, December 7th, 1941, the island of Oahu, Hawaii. Sailors were waking up aboard battleships moored in Pearl Harbor. Families were getting ready for church. The sky was clear and the mood was peaceful. But within minutes, that peace would shatter, replaced by fire, smoke, and chaos. This was the day that would, in the words of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, live in infamy. The day the United States was thrust into the Second World War. The seeds of this attack were planted years earlier. Japan, an island nation hungry for resources, had been expanding aggressively across East Asia. In 1937, it invaded China. By 1940, it joined Germany and Italy in the Axis powers. But Japan's empire needed oil, steel, and rubber, resources controlled by Western powers. When the United States placed an embargo on Japan's oil imports in 1941, Tokyo faced a choice: back down or strike before America could stop them. The Japanese government, led by Emperor Hirohito and Prime Minister Hideki Tojo, chose war. Their plan was bold and devastatingly precise: destroy the U.S. Pacific Fleet before it could ever fight back. The architect of the attack was Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, Japan's naval mastermind. He knew Japan couldn't win a long war with the United States, but a swift, crippling blow might buy time to secure the Pacific. 6 Japanese aircraft carriers set sail under complete radio silence, carrying over 350 aircraft, bombers, torpedo planes, and fighters. They traveled more than 3,000 miles across the Pacific, undetected. Their target, Pearl Harbor, home of America's Pacific Fleet. It was just before 8 a.m. when radar operators on Oahu noticed something unusual: a large formation of planes approaching from the north. They reported it, but the message was dismissed. Commanders assumed it was a group of American B-17s arriving from California. Moments later, the illusion shattered. The first wave of Japanese planes descended out of the morning sun. Bombs tore through the harbor, torpedoes streaked toward battleships lined up neatly, perfect targets. The USS Arizona took a direct hit in her forward magazine. In an instant, she exploded. The ship was torn apart and over 1,100 men were killed. Nearby, the Oklahoma capsized completely, trapping hundreds inside. Within minutes, flames engulfed the harbor. Oil burned on the water. Sailors fought to save their comrades, swimming through fire and debris. Some manned anti-aircraft guns, firing back even as bombs fell around them. As smoke filled the sky, a second wave of Japanese aircraft struck. This time, their targets were airfields and hangars, ensuring that American planes couldn't take off. At Hickam, Wheeler, and Bellows Field, rows of planes burned where they sat. Japanese pilots strafed the runways mercilessly. By 9:45 a.m., less than 2 hours after the first bombs fell, it was over. Pearl Harbor was a graveyard of twisted steel and sinking ships. In total, 403 Americans were killed. Another 178 were wounded. 18 ships were damaged or destroyed, including 5 battleships. But Japan's attack wasn't complete victory. 3 vital American aircraft carriers, the Enterprise, Lexington, and Saratoga, were at sea that day. The U.S. Pacific Fleet was wounded, not destroyed. The very next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress. His voice echoed across the nation. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. Within minutes, Congress declared war. The sleeping giant had awakened. Back in Tokyo, the mission was hailed as a stunning success. Admiral Yamamoto, however, was uneasy. He is said to have remarked, "I fear all we have done is to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." His words proved prophetic. Just 6 months later, the United States struck back at the Battle of Midway, destroying 4 of Japan's aircraft carriers. It was the beginning of a long, brutal road that would end with Japan's surrender in 1945 and the dawn of the nuclear age. Pearl Harbor became the rallying cry for an entire generation, a symbol of sacrifice and a reminder of the cost of unpreparedness. Today, the wreck of the USS Arizona still rests beneath the waters of Pearl Harbor, a silent tomb for those who never came home.